Peeps, welcome back to No, it's not Full Circus. You know, I haven't done a video that wasn't the podcast in so long. I don't even know what this is called. My random adventures? My journey? My escapades. Ooh, that's a fun word. Escapades.
Spoken.
Welcome to my escapades. And it's like one word. Escapades. Escapades. Huh, I think, ow. I slapped my knee too hard. I think we're onto something, though. Look, could I have thought of a show title beforehand? Yes. Could I edit all this out? Of course. Will I? Not a chance. But hey, that's just the kind of fun we have here on Escapades. So anyways, today we're going to be doing a tier list ranking the best and worst pranks. Full disclosure, I've never done one of these, but this idea and the whole freaking template actually comes from Bobby, who recently submitted an awesome question to Full Circus. Bobby also wrote a question about childhood pranks where I could rank them, and now we're here. So let's all give it up for Bobby. We salute you, friend. All right, let's take a look at this. Wow. A lot of classics. Good times, or bad times, but like good memories. I'm blinded by nostalgia. I am noticing that there's no like cyberbullying, or not cyberbullying, but like don't cyberbully people. Like technical pranks, which are fun in their own right. Quick story. A couple years ago, my dad had back surgery, and while he couldn't work, he was just around the house. So he filled most of his time with pranks. Most notably, one called the cat facts. What he did was he made a fake phone number and then texted me a random cat fact as if I just like accidentally subscribed to a feline newsletter. I thought it was odd, but I just deleted it. 3 hours later, I get another one, delete it. I get a follow-up message. If you would like to unsubscribe from cat facts, please reply stop. I type stop, new message pops up. You have now subscribed to the triple cat facts membership. Multiple cat facts start coming in on my phone. I block the number. A day or two passes, and then my dad asks me, he's like, hey, is anyone else getting these weird cat fact messages? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been getting tons of them. I tell him that I blocked the number, and he goes, oh, that's a great idea. A few hours later, new number, same cat facts. I block this contact as well. New number now, more cat facts. Now I'm on to my dad, so I go and ask him about it. And his way of diffusing the situation was to get upset that I even accused him of it. You think I don't have better things to do than waste my day trying to send you cat facts? Is that how valuable you think my time is? And I was like, my bad. That was so disrespectful of me. I shouldn't have even said it. So I end up just admitting defeat to these cat facts until the day before my dad goes back to work, comes into my room and goes, hey, by the way, that was me with the cat facts. This is so stupid, dude. Long story short, apparently I come from a family of pranksters, and it'd be nice to see some more convoluted ways of bullying your family on here. Anyways, let's get back into this. So first up, we have the half Nelson. I didn't even think about how I'm supposed to rank these. Is S like the worst prank or the best prank? And what does the best prank even mean? Can I edit these? Oh, cool. All right, so let's make S harmless shenanigans. Borderline fun. Not all the way, okay? I said borderline. I gotta be careful how I phrase this because if my family watches this and they go, oh, you said it was fun, I find myself in way more half Nelsons than I would like, I'm gonna be upset. A would be fine. Improvement. Did I spell that right? What is this? Why does it want me to spell improvement like that? B is going to be meh. Lacking pizzazz. Complete middle of the road. C is going to be no imagination. D, for the absolute worst of the worst, you're just a bad person. Now, back to the half Nelson. The thing about the half Nelson is, in my life, I've got myself into quite a few half Nelsons, and they kind of are just fine. The half Nelson might just be exactly what this needs here. It's fine, but it needs improvement. I see the full Nelson is over here, and you know what? We'll see how that ranks. But for now, I think I'm gonna keep it in the fine but needs improvement. It's not overbearing, it's harmless, but it just doesn't have a lot of flair to it. The eye poke. Look, I don't care how gentle you think you're being, but unless you're in the Three Stooges and you can go, the eye poke just doesn't belong. And I wanna put it in the no imagination, but you could leave some real damage with an eye poke, and I think I'm gonna put it straight in the you're just a bad person. If you're poking people in the eyes, stop. Pin to ground. See, I want to put this in the no imagination, but I feel like it could also go in meh. And I'm also realizing that those are kind of the same thing. Let's add to no imagination / just rude. Here, I think pinned to ground lands in meh. You know, it's not rude. It's just plain. There's just nothing to it. Stink face. This is where you put your keister in someone's face. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a bit too much butt-to-face contact for me that I'm going to have to put it in meh. I don't know if it's all the way rude, but for now, I'm going to put it in meh. Also, I'm ranking these as a sibling, okay? I don't think any of these need to be done to non-consensual parties. If you are not actively doing these back to the person that's doing them to you, then it's bullying and that's not as fun. I'm ranking these as a younger sibling warrior. Okay. Dog pile. Kind of just like pinned to ground. I'm gonna go back in the mat. You know, you're just kind of laying on top of people.
What are you gonna do, big guy? Sit on me?
You know, not a lot of creativity going into that one. But pile driver, okay? Now, I'm not gonna put it all the way in S, although I have a lot of good memories of trampoline wrestling. I'm a younger sibling, so I was picked up and slammed quite often without my go-ahead. So I think I'm gonna put it in the fine but needs improvement. I think it's got something there, but it's not quite harmless shenanigans. Eat hot sauce. Now, I've always claimed to be a connoisseur of hot sauce. Until about a year ago when that ginger in a bathrobe gave me Carolina Reaper sauce. And my throat started closing up. Want to hear the full story? It's in the podcast. But for this, dude, it's not really a prank. It might have to fall into the meh. Forcing somebody to hot sauce, that could go into just rude. If it's like a double dog dare, it could go into fine. I think we're gonna fall somewhere in between. Put it into the meh. Slap to the back of the head. Dude, I've received my fair share of these. I don't think it's evil, but I think it's enough to be just plain rude. Now we've got tap on head until name 10 cereals. The amount of times somebody grabbed my head and drummed on, drum, they beat me. The longest time I couldn't think of any cereals. Oatmeal, frick! This is one of those things as a younger sibling you had to create like a list of 10 just memorized. Mine was, Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, Cookie Crisps, Cocoa Krispies, Cocoa Puffs, Reese's Puffs, Frosted Mini Wheats, Frosted Flakes, Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's a little harder when people are actually smacking you around, but use that list if you need. It saved me many a brain damage. This one, honestly, I think I gotta put in harmless shenanigans. It's got all the qualities of a great trick. It's creative, it's not too damaging, and it's easily escapable if you have your wits about you. I think it goes in top tier prank. The first of its kind, tap on the head until name 10 cereals. Again, very important, get your list. And now we've got the full Nelson. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a little bit of a hot take, but I think the full Nelson goes into top tier. It's right above the half Nelson, which clearly states needs improvement. What's more improved upon the half Nelson than going full Nelson? It doesn't inflict a lot of damage. Now arguably it is difficult to escape, even more so than the half Nelson. But there is something to be said in a family of boys, as this kind of being the only hug that you're going to get from your brothers. Like, we never squared up and hugged it out. But I got put in a full Nelson all the time, and I felt the love, dude. So I'm gonna ride full Nelson in harmless shenanigans. We've got the foot wedgie. Foot wedgie is the same as like a flat tire. Like if someone's wearing flip-flops, you step on the back of it and their toes. It sounds horrible, but it's not that bad. Again, dude, I kind of want to put it in harmless shenanigans, only because see that flat tire's also on the list, and flat tire's gonna have to go into fine but needs improvement. I think the foot wedgie improves perfectly upon the flat tire. Like the fact that you were able to catch somebody in flip-flops in the first place is kind of an achievement that you almost deserve to do it. And it's not that bad. Again, I do need to be careful with what I say. Don't want to get it constantly. But I also don't wear flip-flops, so I think we're safe to put it in harmless shenanigans. Next, we've got double man wedgie. Now, I want to put this into meh because I think the wedgie kind of leaves a lot to be desired, but the fact that there's 2 people almost makes it an event. Like to have multiple people put in the effort to give you that wedgie, it feels a little bit more special. You do feel seen in some sense. You don't feel as much love as the full Nelson, but I think it's enough that I could put it in the fine but needs improvement. Like the pile driver, I think it might just be a bit too violent for harmless. I think a fine rating for the double man wedgie is more than generous. Now the double wet willy, to the same degree, it might not be 2 people, but 2 fingers. I think this goes in fine as well. You know, I never really minded a wet willy. I think it's way worse to give a wet willy than to get a wet willy. Like sticking your fingers in someone's ears is gross, but when you receive one and you hear that, dude, you're squeaky clean, man. The ear pull. If there was ever a poster child for no imagination. Pulling someone's ears isn't accomplishing anything. No, if you're gonna grab my ear, at least clean it. It goes into no imagination / rude. Flick to the forehead. Same kind of story, man. Like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Eat a booger. Now, if you are forcing somebody to eat your booger, that's evil. Whether you loved or hated the person, I think that's disgusting. That's gross. That goes in the worst. The worst of it. And we got eraser burn. I want to put this in no imagination, but the fact that you're using an eraser gives it a little bit more pizzazz that I think we can put it up to meh. Kind of just inflicting damage, but I expect the use of props. Now we have Melvin. I've never heard of, what is Melvin? Let's look that up. Melvin. Why did I think that the first thing that came up was gonna be a prank? Who is this guy? I mean, it's Melvin, but Melvin Manhoff. Well, I've gone down a deep dive here. And while I haven't learned what a Melvin prank is, I can safely say that Melvin, as a champion, not in harmless, okay, he is a champion fighter, but I think we put him in the fine, but needs improvement. I still don't know what a Melvin prank is, but I think on the surface level, Melvin Manhoff, if I'm saying his name right, belongs in the fine category. Let's all give it up for Melvin. Sack tap. Nope. I know a lot of guys will do that to their pals, but I've never been on board with it. I don't like it. I've had it done to me, hated it, and I'm putting it in the evil category, okay? Stay away from my nuts, why don't ya? Cop check, same thing. Nope. 2 for flinching. Now this is gonna be another hot take, dude. I'm putting it up in freaking harmless shenanigans. I know it's literally violence, but the excitement of the game itself. My brothers would come at me and I go, oh! I think that's a quality game. It's never too bad, but also at the same time, you have a way out. If you don't flinch, you survive. I like anything with an escape route. I think it's exciting. It might not be completely harmless, but the excitement overrules it, for sure. Corn dog. Now, corn dog, I believe, is when you come up behind somebody and you knee them right in the behind. I'm gonna put this in the bad person, dude. Just don't do that, all right? It's same with all privates, don't touch anybody. It don't feel good. And you're not accomplishing anything, and there's no creativeness to it. The name is cool, I'll give it that. But Loogie Dangler. Here's the thing about the Loogie Dangler, okay? It has the possibility to go into no imagination, also into meh, but even into fine. What determines this is who's doing it. The objective of the Loogie Dangler was to, well, dangle a loogie. You never let it touch, you suck it back up. If you have somebody who's not skilled in this, it immediately goes into just rude, because that's disgusting. If you have somebody who can successfully do it, but it's like not that long of one, it goes into meh. Now, as gross as it is, if you have somebody who can get it really close to you but never touch you, it can kind of go into the second category only on account of it being impressive. I don't ever want it to happen to me again, but we kind of have to acknowledge the almost athletic feat of a true loogie dangle. My older brothers were kind of good at it and it was always impressive. I never got snot on my face. I'm gonna put it in the fine, dude. Okay? I'm gonna put it in the fine. Again, don't want it. Don't do it. But if you're really fantastic at it, and I would go to the Olympics with it, I don't know. Indian burn's an interesting one. As kids, my brothers and I would challenge each other to see who could last the longest. I think if you're just gonna give someone an Indian burn, it's gonna go into just rude. If it's a really good challenge, I think it can go into fine, but it usually just ended with all of us crying. I'm gonna put it into meh, you know, it's probably not the greatest idea. Fun in theory, but, you know, it never really worked out. Spitball. Immediately, we're going into harmless shenanigans. Can't hurt anybody with a spitball. You're a freaking marksman and you can dodge it. It's got all the qualities of a fantastic prank. I wouldn't even put on the list of pranks. I think it's literally just a good time, and I highly recommend it. Wedgie, straight up. I know a lot of people love the classic wedgie, some more than others. Doubleman wedgie's already up and fine. Like, there's no way that the wedgie can compete with that. Sorry about the classic wedgie, but I think it's just gonna have to fall in middle. A noogie. Noogie's another one that it's not painful enough for just rude. Outside of the name, it's not exciting enough for fine. Hair like mine, dude, people freaking lose their hands. So I think I'm just gonna put it in the meh. Ooh, we got the atomic wedgie. Atomic wedgie, a clear-cut improvement on the regular wedgie, just as humbling, but way more impressive from an elastic perspective. I think it kind of goes in fine. Again, not something I really want to happen to me. It's not as heartwarming as the Doubleman wedgie, but if you have underwear stretchy enough to go over your head, I think it's just a bit too impressive to put in meh. Yep, atomic, you're going into fine, but needs improvement. Oh, a swirly. Now, I talked about this on the podcast. Growing up being homeschooled, my brothers and I all voluntarily tried a swirly because we wanted the whole school experience. I've never gotten a non-consensual swirly, so I'm not gonna put it in the just rude, but I think I'm gonna put it in the meh. I think it's a little disrespectful to an unwanted individual. If it's a playful swirly in a nice toilet, I think it could go in fine. I mean, you're just getting a wash. But I think swirly would probably be safer in the middle ground here. Wet Willy, again, it's not too bad. We have double Wet Willy and fine, so Wet Willy's gonna have to fall to meh. It's a classic, but it's definitely lacking. Here we've got Pink Belly. Now, Pink Belly, I would almost put into just rude. Really just slapping somebody in the stomach. Again, not accomplishing much. However, I was watching Ed, Edd, and Eddy last night. All I can hear is, Pink Belly! Pink Belly!
Pink belly! Pink belly!
So I'm kind of gonna put it up here in the fine category because the name is fun, it's nostalgic, and it was one of those things my brothers and I would challenge each other to as well. Who can take the hardest slap? Kind of those create your own fun kind of games. Dutch oven. Disgusting, gross, hilarious. Humans are harmless. If you can catch somebody in a blanket, it's like catching a Pokemon. It's impressive, it's difficult, and I'm 10 years old mentally, so it's going in harmless shenanigans. Beef stew, another one. It's a fart. It's not as violent as a stink face. There's distance between you. I mean, a good old crop dusting's hilarious, no matter how old you are. I think I'm gonna put it in harmless shenanigans. It's a good time. Careful, Tristan. I don't want people coming to me with it, but in the realm of sibling pranks, it's harmless, it's funny, it's stupid. It's a good time. Now we've got Purple Nurple. Purple Nurple, it's pretty rough. I've received a couple of these and I won't lie to you, it hurts. I think it goes into the just rude category. I'm tempted to put it into meh, just because it rhymes and it's funny. It's got a good name, but I think the ones I've received, people have gotten just a bit too carried away. So I'm gonna put it in the just rude. Now, pantsing, dude, if you're doing this to someone you don't know, someone who doesn't also do it back to you, evil. Don't try and do that to someone. That's wrong. However, when it is just between you and your brothers, I think sneak attacking someone's trousers is good enough for a meh. But also, because of one specific time where someone tried to pants me and I had multiple pairs of shorts on underneath it, so funny to me, I'm gonna put it in the fine because of a single memory where my cousin tried to pants me. And it was winter, so I was wearing so many layers. He kept trying, and eventually he gave up. He never even finished the job. It was the only time I've ever seen the pantser be the embarrassed one. Now we got Rat Tail, the towel whip. Kind of like the loogie dangler without the grossness. It's just freaking impressive, dude. And while it stings, it takes talent. So I'm gonna put it in the high class, man. My older brother Carlton is phenomenal at this, dude. Towels, blankets, washcloths. I hated doing the dishes with him because he could grab anything. So admittedly annoying, and I hope he doesn't see this because I'm gonna get a lot more of them. But you can't ignore the skill. It's a perfectly measured attack. And done successfully, you have to admire it. Finally, we've got the flat tire. It's not as fun and exciting as the foot wedgie, and I think it could go in meh, but because it's so harmless and kind of silly, I'm gonna put it in fine. There's always a good laugh with a flat tire. Charlie Horse, a classic. I don't know if there's a game attached to Charlie Horse. People just announce Charlie Horse and would assault your leg. There's not enough excitement there, man. It's not like Two for Flinching or Punch Buggy, dude. If it was Punch Buggy, it would have to go into fine. But because it's only an attack move, I'm gonna have to put it into no imagination. It's hard to do that to a legend, but there's nothing more I can do. We've got Dead Leg. Now, Dead Leg, similar to the flat tire, when you're behind someone, you push the back of their knee out. It's harmless. Nobody ever goes down. Always gets a laugh from both parties. I'm tempted to put it into harmless shenanigans. It's just not quite there yet. Hang in there, Dead Leg. Somebody out there wants to improve upon the Dead Leg. It might have a fighting chance. Hearthstone is too good to go anywhere but the top! Not completely harmless, but it's really only used one time. If you fall for that on multiple occasions, it is your fault, but it's so silly. It's got a great name. The setup behind it is unparalleled. That's too good, man. You know anyone out there who hasn't been subjected to that yet? I would give it a shot. It's a good time. Ancho. This is, I believe, okay, I'm not completely sure, but I think this is kind of like the corn dog, except you use your fingers and you poke someone right in the butt. It's disgusting. And dude, if I don't even want to give someone a wet willy, I don't. Okay. The circle game. Circle game's an immediate S tier for harmless shenanigans. There is a threat of violence. The fact that you have to catch somebody with it makes it exciting. It's a game, and it has stood the test of time for generations. Exactly what I meant with the Charlie Horse. They improved upon it. One little switch, and it's high class now. Respect. Respect to the circle game. Mooning. Now, hilarious in its own right. It could go an S, but no pun intended. I don't really want to see my brother's butt cheeks too often. Can't really put it in fine, or they still might use that as an excuse. I'm gonna put it in meh. I think it belongs in fine. I think it's silly among friends to err on the side of caution. I'm going to put it into meh. Turkey, slap to the back. It's not evil, but it's the same thing. What are we doing, huh? These can be improved upon. Turn it into a game. The marker stash. As if it can go anywhere but the top. It's not painful. It's silly. And as kids, we drew facial hair on ourselves all the time. There's not really a drawback to it. I think I'm fine inviting people to do it. So if anyone catches me sleeping in public, take your shot. I welcome a good marker stash. Shoelacing, immediate top. Dude, if you're able to tie someone's shoes together, the subtleness to be able to pull that off without them noticing is one, so impressive. Two, if they somehow fall over, it's kind of their own fault. And three, the knot tying practice so you can get your badge at the next Cub Scout meeting. Make that an all-timer. Kick me sign, kick me sign. Dude, hilarious. If you're able to get away with that, similar to shoelacing, it's a tricky one to do. And the people who read it aren't violently drop kicking you anyways. It's fun. It's silly. That's top notch. Cherry ink. This one has some factors. Okay, now, I think it could go in fine, only because of the timing you need to pull it off, but because I've had this done to me quite frequently, I'm going to put it into meh. I think on the surface it can go fine, but the fact that someone did this while I was blowing out my birthday cake last year puts it into meh for me. The old burp and blow. I don't know what it is about the burp and blow. I think because of its frequency, I can't make it as fun as a beef stew, so I'm gonna have to put it in the fine but needs improvement. The fact that you can burp on command and just do this constantly takes away a little bit of its uniqueness. I'm gonna put it in the fine but needs improvement. Ways you can tune that up is to maybe eat something exciting, maybe fish. I don't know. I don't want to find out. Slap to the face. Come on. There's just nothing there, man. Save that for when someone deserves it. Don't smack the people closest to you. Waffle belly. I'm not 1,000%. I think this one is where you hold a tennis racket and you would brush over the tennis racket with a broom or something. It's not harmful at all, but the amount of items needed, it's a pricey little trick to pull. I don't know about you, but I don't have tennis rackets just lying around. That one's gonna have to go into fine but needs improvement. Ickle torture. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Don't have many weaknesses, okay? And I'm kind of ashamed to admit this as a 24-year-old man. But my single greatest weakness, I'm still, as an adult, extremely ticklish. Well, I'm gonna put this low on the list. It's not evil, but you know, we're gonna put this into just rude. Don't tickle me. Also, tickling was more of like a parent to children kind of thing. I can't imagine my adult male siblings tickling me, and if I can't imagine it, I certainly don't want it to happen. Let's keep that as low as possible on the list here. We've got tap on chest until name 10 candy bars. Like the cereals, it's gotta go freaking up there, man. It's got all the qualities, it's a game, it's exciting. We need more tricks and pranks like that in our lives. My candy bars were Snickers, Butterfinger, Kit Kat, Twix. This is actually hard to do yourself. Payday, Milky Way, Babe Ruth, Crunch, Three Musketeer, Autograph. What is this? So try that on your friends and family. No, they cannot use Reese's Cups because it's not a candy bar. If I couldn't get away with it, neither can you. Fast breaks and Tig 5 would work though, but back when people were interrogating me with chest percussion, I hadn't heard of them. And side note, Take 5 is the best candy on the market by far. If you disagree with that, you must be allergic to common sense. The last on the list, we have Fart Bomb. The old flatulence capture. Look, it could go in fine, but let's not act like it's not a direct improvement on the burp and blow. So I'm gonna have to put it up at the top of the list! Don't know why I'm screaming. But it's exciting, it's stupid, it's fun, and that concludes the list. This is a tier list, ranked by the eyes of a younger sibling. I've had all of these done to me many times. I've done them somewhat to my older brothers. It's not as easy when you're smaller. But try these ones out on your friends and your family. This is like the opposite of an anti-bullying campaign. Try all these tactics out. These are the best ways to attack those around you. Again, only do it with the people that are comfortable to these consensual pranks and whatnot. But I think you got the gist. I don't know how long this was, but we spent a lot of time talking about nonsense. Thanks again to Bobby for building this, letting us have fun here playing around. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It has been fun. I'm working on making some new videos outside of the podcast as well. I'm feeling pretty inspired, so be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned, because there's more mescapades to come. Messy escapades. Dude, it works on so many levels! Anyways, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you.